Welcome back, friends. Our next guest, Taylor Kinkade, who you see each day on Business Break here at WTVF. This is your second round here at Channel 9.
Right.
And so the first one, you had the opportunity to work with Chuck, and that's why you're here with us today. Also, by the way, the First Lady of Local Weather.
Oh, the First Lady. I'll take that title. Okay, that'll work. Okay.
Married to Chief Meteorologist Derek Kinkade.
Yes.
As I always have to, every time I anchor with Derek, I have to fit it in. Emmy award-winning.
Two-time Emmy award-winning
Chief
Meteorologist Derek Kinkade.
Two-time Emmy award-winning Chief Meteorologist Derek Kinkade.
Yep. And AMS certified.
Has our first look at weather. Yeah.
Right.
So I always throw that into a toss over to him. And so
which I'm sure he appreciates.
Yeah, try to give him his flowers, as I like to say. So, tell me about when you started working. This place obviously means a lot to you.
Right.
You know, you met your husband here, and you got great kids out of the deal too. So, tell us about when you got here, when you started working here, and when you met Chuck.
Okay. So I was fresh out of college when I moved here to Columbus, Georgia. I always tell people, I'll be honest with you, I was Googling Columbus, Georgia while I was in the U-Haul coming down here.
So where was home before that?
So I'm from Franklin, Tennessee originally, right around Nashville. Went to school at Western Kentucky in Bowling Green, Kentucky, and the economy tanked when I graduated college.
Nice.
I'll date myself, but 2007, and news was hard to get into. But this has been my dream since I was 3 years old. I knew I was going to be on that news desk.
Yeah.
And so I didn't want to give up on the dream. I needed to do something, and all that to say, it was kind of a limbo period. And I'd sent my resume tape out. Back then, we were on tape, VHS tapes, sending those things out, hoping to get a call.
How much it cost you to mail that tape?
I cannot even remember. I'm sure, well, I mean, I'm sure mail was a little bit cheaper then, too, to send it out. And WTVM called, and they said, listen, we don't have an on-air position right now. We have a videographer position.
Yeah.
And so I came here out of college, September of 2007, and just sight unseen. Okay, let's do it. I want to learn. I want to know some things. Let me learn everything I can behind the camera before I get in front of it.
Cool.
And so my first day in, I was going to train with the chief photographer, Paul Therian. He's a great guy, wealth of knowledge.
I met Paul at the 70th anniversary party.
Okay.
And he came that day, and it was cool to talk to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice guy.
Really smart guy, Paulie. You know, lovingly we call him Paulie. But I was set to train with him and then set to train with Chuck Leonard. And because I wasn't from here, I did not realize the magnitude, the impact the name Chuck Leonard had on the Columbus community. And so that first week, you know, I'm learning everything I can, and every day Chuck would, when he would get off at the noon show, he'd say, hey, let's go to lunch. Okay, let's go to lunch. That man introduced me to every barbecue restaurant in Columbus, Georgia. So we went on a barbecue tour. And I'll be honest, I like barbecue. I do not love barbecue enough to eat it that much. But I learned, he taught me the ropes, and so I got to go around town. And what I was blown away about was, again, I'm new to the area. Everywhere we walked in, every head would turn. Everybody would stop what they're doing. It's Chuck, it's Chuck. Oh my goodness, it's Chuck. Can we get a picture? Do you remember that time? And so that was really neat for me, especially being new in this business of, look at the impact this man has. Look how recognizable he is and how many people know him. And I grew up watching you, or, you know, I always watch you when I need the report or whatever it is. And so that was really neat to see that magnitude of him being a local legend. That was always really interesting to me.
Yeah, it just, I mean, he's that guy that folks here grew up with for years and years and years and years, and when you get to meet that person in public, I mean, it's a big deal. I say all the time, folks, never forget meeting their favorite person from the news.
Right.
And you probably experienced that a lot with Derek too.
Oh yeah.
Going out in public as well, and now yourself too. So, but what was he like at lunch? What's he talking about when you go to lunch?
Well, he loves to share advice. One is the fun facts, the trivia. That man had a wealth of knowledge about everything, fun fact or dumb facts, whatever it is. But he knew all kinds of things. So he was always sharing trivia. He was always sharing I knew that person when, and did you know, and here's a fun fact. The other thing that I think a lot of people can say, especially starting out in the business, is that Chuck was always willing to help. Sometimes we get frustrated with new people, or back in my day we did it this way. Or sometimes, you know, for somebody who's been in the business for a while, like, oh, you know nothing, or nothing's the same or the way it used to be. But he never had that attitude of, you know, kind of being annoyed that he had to train somebody up, or trying to be frustrated that you don't know what I know. And he was always very helpful, whether it was a new reporter, a new producer, heck, a new photographer. You know, teach me the camera. He knew stuff. He knew all of it.
Yeah.
And so he was always really patient with people and always willing to give that extra help, or instead of just correcting what you were doing, let me show you a better way, or let me show you a way that would work better next time.
Yeah, I think what always impresses me about him, and going through a lot of video just the last couple of days, seeing different stuff that he's done, where he would do a stand-up somewhere. You're like, man, that was really good, Chuck. Yeah. Like, that was, yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't have done it that good, you know, like it was, or well, you know, Chuck will get on to you if you,
Watch your grammar. We don't say behind bars. We don't say fled.
It's more than, not over.
Yeah, it's more than, not over. Lots of things that have stuck with me today when it comes to writing. I always remember that. But yeah, he was always willing to train us and help us along the way. One story that I told Carol when I went and met with him when he was in hospice, you know, we were sharing the remember when and sharing good stories. This was further on. I had become a reporter at this point, and Chuck had to go get a video or an interview somewhere, and I had to go do my stand-up for my story that night. The stand-up, for people who don't know, that's when the reporter comes on camera and gives a brief explanation of, this is what my story is about, or if you look behind me or you can see. So the story that we had to go pick up my stand-up was a terrible motorcycle crash. And because, you know, one-man banding, that's the person who shoots all the video and edits all the video, I said, hey, Chuck, would you just push record for me? I'm going to stand over here and do my thing, and then we'll be done. So I do my stand-up, I give the details, and I come back, and we get in the car, and he says, Taylor, I'm going to be honest with you. I did not push the record button. Like, you had one job. All you had to do was push that button. So I said, okay. And he goes, let's go try it again. I thought you did a great job, but I just realized that I didn't help you out at all. So, okay, thanks a lot, Chuck. But we went out there and did it again. And I think that's so funny. I shot your video. I did your favorite. Oh, you just forgot about my part. But he was honest before we left. So we went out there and redid it, and I got the video that I needed.
That's the cool thing about a guy like Chuck, though, is that folks that have been around in this business for a long time, when you and I came into it, it was about the same time, just in different places, but I was paranoid to make a mistake.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and down in Dothan one time, I was reporting for the evening shows, and my story got in late, and the whole block flipped, and the guy down there, his name was Reginald, and I'm like, oh man, I messed the whole rundown up.
Let everybody down.
You know, and stuff like. So it's funny that you had that experience, and Chuck's the type of guy to be like, oh yeah, I make mistakes too. You know, I've been
it makes him human.
Been doing this 30 years, you know. But
so that was neat. And I loved, excuse me, when I got to go out on stories with him, or I got to do things with him, because I would watch him in action, the way he would interview people, the way he would do that pause of just let them speak, do that dramatic pause, and you don't have to fill up that silence. And so I learned a lot of really good interviewing techniques from him, and a lot of really good storytelling. He used to do Chuck's history lesson, and in essence, he's just telling a story. It's, hey, guess what? Or, you know, putting all those fun facts together. And that always interested me. I love telling stories, whether it's where this person come from, why do you do what you do, but I love that I learned that from him and got to see that in action of him. Let me just take you on a journey. Let me tell you the beginning, middle, and end of this story. And that was always really helpful.
Yeah, that history lesson, he was gonna quit one time, and his wife said, no, keep going, and that was all the push he needed. But
I think people love it.
I think he really enjoyed that through the years as well. Thanks for coming on today with us. First and foremost, you're back here at Channel 9 now. You left for a little while, and before we go, just, you know, what's Chuck mean to you as a person here?
You're trying to get the tears, aren't you? You're doing the Oprah question. I know. One thing that stands out, one thing I'll always remember is, as a reporter, during sweeps, which was a big deal, it's where you get the ratings and you do your big stories, I did a segment called Getting to Know. And I had the opportunity to sit down with every on-air anchor and just do where'd you come from? Tell me your backstory. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Yeah.
And the one with Chuck always moved me so much. He told the story of how he had a traumatic injury in his early life, what eventually led him to radio, which eventually led him to TV. And one phrase that he said, and I've thought about it no matter how big or small the problem is, he said he reached this point in his life where he kind of reached an epiphany. He had felt like he hit rock bottom. And he remembers rolling over, he was in a hospital bed, he remembers rolling over and saying, I have two choices. I could roll over and die, like I could let this overcome me, I could let this be the thing that just overtakes my life and I just quit, or I can get up and make something of myself. And Chuck Leonard made that choice, and a teenage boy, a 20-something, made the choice that I'm not going to roll over and just let this thing get me down. I'm going to rise above, and I'm going to be better. And I've said that phrase a couple of times to myself when stuff gets really hard, and I think that's his lasting legacy in my life, at least, is that he helped me along the way. He wasn't too big, too popular, too famous to help somebody else, especially the little guy. And to make that choice of, you always have a choice. You could just quit or you could keep going. And he just kept going. And look at the amazing career he made because of it.
He certainly did. I'm glad you mentioned that too. And I think that's a good note to go on as well, because Chuck had mentioned so many times. Oh, I punched that a little early there. Sorry about that. Sorry, Chuck. But you talked about he had that injury. He lost his leg. It was, I've heard people talk about it in the last week, probably more than ever before, but he didn't let that be his defining moment.
Right.
He got up off the mat, so to speak, and lived a tremendous life from that point on. And I think that's pretty cool. He said one of his favorite songs was "Against the Wind" by Bob Seger, and I kind of feel like, like Chuck was running against the wind a lot of times, but he did it so well, and he was such a friend to so many along the years as well, and so a friend to both of us,
right.
and really the reason I'm sitting here right now. And
yeah,
so,
a mentor, in fact, indeed.
Yeah, love that guy. It's been a lot of fun today. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
We certainly appreciate you stopping by. And friends, if you've got memories of Chuck, email them to us. We'd love to hear from you. Let's talk about him. Let's keep his memory alive. And, of course, memorial service is coming up in January. We'll keep you updated on that as well. But this has been a great tribute today to our friend Chuck Leonard.